Welcome to Talk the Walk. I'm DT Elam alongside J.B. Barosso. And today we have a topic at hand. Our guests today are from the UFL and the True Sim Undisputed Boxing League. You have the reigning middleweight champion, Bacon and Grits, representing the UFL. And we have former champion, the Burger Man, representing True Sim Undisputed Boxing League. JB, December 12th update. That's what we're covering today.
Sounds good, man. This was really unexpected, but I think we welcome it. And we're still waiting on the actual update that everybody's been excited about. But today, we're going to talk about this download content.
All right. So first off, we're going to go into the gameplay. Will the gameplay be changed or not? There's no mention of it right now. So it's looking like not. So we'll take this over to Bacon and Grits. What do you think about the gameplay being changed or not being changed inside this downloadable content? And are you interested inside of the things and animations that will come with this downloadable content?
So this was a surprise to see the fighters, especially. I do hope that there is some form of change. From my understanding, from what people have been saying, there won't be that much gameplay changes, and that does make me a little sad because where the game stands at the moment, it's a bit tough to take it competitively if people want to take it that far. So I would like to see maybe something, even if it's something small, leading up to the major update, whenever that's going to be. And I'm excited. Whenever they do give us anything new, whether it's fighters or venues, it's always like an exciting thing. It keeps the game fresh, keeps us, engaged with something. But I think the statement still stands. If the game is still not in the greatest state, it's tough to really enjoy the new fighters and the new things if the game is still not in the proper spot. So, I hope that with this update, there might be something small for us to look forward to.
All right. And Burger Man, how do you feel about the lack of gameplay change? And how do you feel about the possibility of changes, the other changes that are happening in the game?
Well, I just think we got something for the fans. We got a good update coming. In terms of like new fighters, people been asking for new fighters. We got Marquez coming, Morales, Barrera, Zing Zhang. I think am I saying his name right? Um, I think it's good for the community. I think it helps the community grow. I was more leaning towards like gameplay, but hey, we just gotta take it one step at a time and give it take right now.
Yes, Big Bang Zhang, one of the fighters that I personally was looking forward to before early release.
Exactly. And I think, guys, this is going to be kind of a round table. So we'll just chop it up here. I think the addition of Jake Paul is very appealing to the younger people becoming fight fans because he's a hot item on YouTube, hot item. And yeah, I think that was a good thing. I just hope he's not overrated, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Uh, and we'll
I think
see.
I think a lot of people are in that same mind frame of hoping he doesn't come out rated 90 overall or something crazy like that. But
Exactly.
definitely a treat for the fans as this man with Mike Tyson, had 60 million views on that. So
Yeah, that was a pretty big deal, especially with, how that fight just ended and things like that. Uh, I know a lot of people have some things I'm sure they want to say about Jake Paul's inclusion. Like, I think I kind of agree with JB in terms of it appealing to the younger fans and people who probably still haven't found a reason to buy the game yet. Jake Paul's addition did come as a surprise, and it will allow people to, say, "Hey, I can finally play as Jake." But I do agree. In terms of the boxing aspect of things, I personally feel that he's still kind of working his way in terms of kind of working towards becoming a pro. And I don't think he's quite there yet. That's not to say that his accomplishments and things like that should be, what's the word I'm looking for?
Overlooked.
Undermined or overlooked. Yeah, thank you. Overlooked. Uh, I know a lot of people, like I said earlier, don't like him for various reasons, and that's understandable, but we cannot deny the fact that he is essentially a very big face of boxing as a whole right now. And good on him for what he's been doing so far. I just hope that if he's going to continue to box and do his career, he will, start to get fighters that will really, really push him and things like that.
You can have to say one thing about Jake Paul that you can give him. He is a very hard worker. He's
Hmm.
very determined, and we'll see how far that can take him. Good luck to him.
Yeah, I was about to say more power to him for doing what he's doing because, not a lot of people are able, especially from the YouTube side of, boxing, not a lot of them have gotten this far. So, yeah, props to him for doing what he's been doing at the moment. But in terms of like the gameplay, I've heard that he might be kind of somewhat high rated, like in the 86, 87 range, which makes me a little sad because you've got fighters like, Carl Froch, who's an 86, so he's just above him. Caleb Plant, who's an 83, and I think he's done some pretty accomplishing things. But like I said before, we don't really have any control over how they choose to rate. And he is a very popular fighter, so it's understandable if he is somewhat rated in the highish category. But I hope the other fighters will also be somewhat rated well because we need more variety. That's the biggest thing to me in the boxing, especially for this game. You see a lot of the same fighters, like Canelo, Crawford's, Sugar Ray Robinson's. I think the Sugar Ray Robinsons have kind of lessened, but now Crawford, due to how he is with the update at the moment, they're everywhere. He's a great fighter. Don't get me wrong. But I think right now the game is lacking a bit of variety. So I'm hoping that with these fighters we can kind of see a bit more because it feels as if there's just a meta. If you're not using said such and such fighter, then what's the point in playing?
That's
And I
right. And
think,
that's pretty much all you see when you go into these lobbies. And the unfortunate part of it is you don't see any of the other fighters. And I think that's really unfortunate because there's a lot of great fighters if you know how to use them in the game. But if you go into the Steam lobby or just a regular lobby, ranked lobby, everybody's using the same fighters over and over. And I think that's unfortunate. Burger, I was going
it,
to ask you. I've heard a little bit about maybe some new animations for knockouts, knockdowns, maybe some different ways to move up and down weight class and career mode. What have you heard? Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, I was reading that just now, and I'm kind of excited for that. I think that it's gonna be healthy for the game as a whole. You know, we only have like a couple of them right now, but adding new knockout animations and things of that nature makes the game more appealing because I was getting kind of bored here.
DT yourself, what do you think about it?
I I think that more knockout animations would be great. And honestly, moving up and down in weights in career mode, that'd be excellent because I've had fighters fight till I think 49 is when they cut you off when you turn 50, they make you retire. It might even be 45. But it was it's like wow. I had a 18-year career at middleweight. So, it kind of takes away from the field that I was looking for personally with the career mode. But so yes, I'm excited about that. Definitely excited about that. Also excited about the venues. I'm not exactly sure what venues, but maybe if they put some actual true historical venues in there, then I mean that would be a little eye popping. So that'd be another surprise for us on this downloadable content that's coming out on the 12th.
Well, I'll tell you, I agree about the weight class and career mode because I'll tell you what, when I became middle aged, I wasn't a middleweight anymore. I guarantee you that. A little bit of Dunlap disease. All righty.
Indeed,
Anything
indeed.
else regarding this, guys, that you want to bring up, or should we move on to uh, other things like what are we expecting from the later in December true patch that we've been looking for?
Yeah, bacon and grits take the floor.
I guess to chime in on, the fact that we're getting, these fighters as well as new attires and things like that for everybody. I uh I kind of like the new attire thing. I wish they would capitalize more on the, I wouldn't say DLC, costumes. I don't know if you would call them costumes, but I think more gear, if they can find a way to give us an incentive to get more gear for the fighters, that'd be really cool. Like, how we have the prize fights, maybe getting a certain rank or beating the your opponent in a certain amount of time may allow you to get gear for the fighter that you cleared it with. Stuff like that. Just more things to keep the players engaged. I'm sure they're probably thinking about that as they update the game some more, but just a small little thing.
I'm excited to play with Marquez and Morales and Barrera. They're like great Mexican fighters, and I've been waiting to play with them. And knowing that Marquez knocked out Pacquiao, I want to use his right hand.
Oh, I just
Hmm.
saw that today again. Oh my gosh. I've never seen Pacquiao go down like that.
And
Amazing.
lots of outfits coming out as well. We was talking about the gear, and I agree with what Bacon and Grit says there, as far as needing more unlockable things that are obtainable. Sprinkle some of the DLC things to make it obtainable for players to try to hit goals. But some of the alternative outfits that we're getting are like, I think Roy Jones Jr. is getting another one. I know Terrence Crawford's getting another one. Vasily Lomachenko's getting another one. Deontay Wilder's getting another one. Which, who knows? They might even have entrance robes. We might get to see that mask that weighed him down that fight. So who knows?
So interesting. Hey, what do you guys feel about the lady fighters? I almost never see anybody use them. We have some going on in tournaments, I believe, with the True Sim League. But what do you think that is? The guys just don't play with the ladies, and I think they're dynamite.
I think that there's no meta for them, so people don't want to use them because it's harder to play with them. If they have less traits, it's more like a simulation fight. So I guess people don't want to take chances in playing with them, which is crazy because we got what's the girl's name? Clarissa Shields. You have Katie Taylor. Help me out, DT. Give me another name out there if you remember.
I think
We have
there's
a co
Oh, you have
Estrada.
Estrada. Yeah,
Estrada.
that's a huge name there.
We
I
have a
believe
lot.
she just retired.
She just retired.
Well, all right, guys, how about we move on to some of the career mode items?
Okay.
Burger, you want to go ahead and continue with that?
Real more items. I'll pass it on to Bacon and Prince right quick.
Okay. So career, I like what they are trying to do, like especially when you get all the belts, that little cutscene to just show that, hey, you got all of it, and then Turkey comes in and hands you the last one that you need, and that little cinematic that plays, it's really cool. I hope they continue to do more on that. It sounds like that they might have more surprises for us with this update coming up in career mode. I'm not really sure what it'll entail, aside from maybe the classes, like you being able to move in between like middleweight, welterweight, things like that. More ways to get your boxer stats. I don't know if they'll add scenes for that or not, but I like career mode for what they've been doing, and I hope they continue to improve upon it because there's a lot of things that they can do. I've heard people that have played Fight Night. There were things you could do where you could you actually had your fighter hit the bags, and depending on how well you did, would grant you stats and things like that.
Like,
So
kind
it
of like
was
mini games,
encouraged. Like little
mini
mini
games
games,
for tournament.
exactly. Yeah, that would be really cool to have. I feel like they're probably working their way up into that point. It's interesting to see. One small little thing that it's silly, but being able to change your fighter's gear, like if it's not a custom created fighter, Like if you go in there with Muhammad Ali or George Davies, something like that, there really wasn't any way to change their taunts or their gear. So I hope with the update you'll be able to kind of mess around with that and they'll give us more to work with. Um,
And I'm sure they will. Though this DLC is right before Christmas. Definitely trying to boost the sales here at the end of the fourth quarter, fiscal fourth quarter. And speaking of, it's how much will this game be? Is it going to be free, or this downloadable content? Is it going to be free? Is it going to be much like the WBC pack? What do you guys think on that, Burgerman? What do you think
Uh,
this should be kind of priced at?
to be fair, I say $20 the most. The most. You know, at the state of the game, at least give us an affordable price to get everything, And let's give them some credit. They gave us an update before December, and they're giving us another one like on the 12th of December. So I think we should get more credit for doing that for the community.
All right, bacon and grits.
um, Much like Burger said, I think they've been doing the best they can with what they have so far, and that's great. Like I said, they were able to get a boxing game out of early access. I think it probably should have had a little more time to cook, but the fact that it even got out of it is awesome because a lot of games in early access don't make it out sometimes. So I'm glad that we have what we do have, and as long as we continue to, give them positive feedback and things like that, we will continue to enjoy this game as best as we can.
Yeah,
And
very good.
JB,
Hey
there was a
guys,
lot of people.
we're gonna make
Oh,
a turn for home here with one last question to throw out to everyone. Do you feel like SEI has kept their word so far? And how do you feel about that?
Asking me?
It's open to anybody that wants to step in, and we'll just kind of round table it before we head for
Okay.
home.
I just think they're doing the best they can. And unfortunately, is the game is not complete, but at least they're giving us content, they're giving us updates, and they're listening to the community, and that's a plus. And they truly do care. You know, yes, it's out for full release, and we can only hope for better updates and more improvement, especially with the online connectivity.
Much like Burger said, that SCI is doing the best that they can. I know that a lot of people have their, comments and criticisms about what they've done, and it's all understandable. But game development is not an easy task. And if you are behind the scenes to see what goes, into this, it's really, really difficult. Especially if you, for example, make an update for just patching some stamina out and something went wrong, you got to go back in that coding and you got to figure out what went wrong within that code. And it could be at the top, could be at the middle, it could be anywhere, and you have to figure that out. So I think for the most part, SCI has done everything they can to give us something of a, simulated boxing game. Does it need more time to cook? Of course, with any game like this. But there are more things they can work on, and I would like to see how far they can take this game before other competitors step in. But I think so far they've done well.
I
all
agree.
righty.
I think SEI's done a really good job. They should be commended. Um, Again, I am no programmer, but this seems to be a very difficult thing to do, and especially when you're trying to walk a tightrope and try to keep everybody happy, the casual player and the sim player. So I think we can only hope that this gets better and better with time. And I think our input and our feedback, if SEI listens to that, that they'll take it to heart. And I think they'll continue to work hard on this game to make it the best boxing game that has ever been out on the market. That's just how I feel about it.
Indeed, I feel strongly the same way. I do believe that Steel City Interactive's kept their word so far. I truly do. Um, a lot of people before this, when this game was inside of early access, pre-release, people were saying this game is never coming out. And they said that for a long time, for several years, even before the pre-release came out. They said this game will never see the light of day. So there's been a lot of evolution of the game, but they have definitely kept their word. And I think that's going to wrap it up today for Talk the Walk. I'm D.T. Elam, alongside J.B. Barosso. Thank you to our guests, Bacon and Grits, representing the UFL, and to the Burger Man, representing True Sim Undisputed Boxing League.
Thank you so much for having us.
Till next time.